Hey everyone, we are live. Great. We are live on Instagram. Hi, Instagram folks. And we are live on Facebook and YouTube. Good morning. Happy Wednesday, everyone. Welcome to another Creators Chat Live. I'm Saida. I'm the founder of the Creators Universe. We are a content production company that supports and uplifts women of color in the media industry. It's podcast week. What? We have been talking about podcasting all this week. Please ignore the weird looking headphones on my head. I want to make sure that I can hear you guys, but also there's no echo. But it's podcast week, and we've been talking about podcasting all week. Monday, we talked about 3 things you need to know before starting a podcast. And today, I want to talk you through the 6 steps of podcasting. You've figured out what your goals are, you figured out your audience, you figured out your availability, and now you're ready to start your show, but you need to know what to do next. Here are the 6 steps to do next. So you have your topic for your show, you have your idea, you know kind of what you want your show to be. Now you're ready to record your first episode. And to do that, the first thing you need to do is pick a topic for that episode. So who are you talking to in that episode? Are you going to interview a guest? Are you going to do a solo show? What are you going to talk about? Is it going to be about finances? Is it going to be about marketing? Is it going to be about health and wellness? Is it going to be about a movie that you saw? What is the topic of your episode? Once you figure out your topic of your episode, then you can pick out talking points. If you're interviewing a guest, you can figure out questions to ask them. But before you hit record, before you lock in guests, you need to know what you're going to talk about for that episode. So after you pick your topic for your episode, then you move on to locking in guests. Now, guests are optional. Some people do solo shows where they just hit record and they turn on their mic and they just talk. Solo shows are amazing. So if you don't want guests, feel free to do a solo show. But if you do want guests, you need to decide if you're going to do like one-on-one interviews and just have one guest, or if you're going to do like a roundtable discussion and have multiple guests. And if you are going to do that, then you need to start reaching out and looking for guests for your podcast episode. Get them in, talk to them, do pre-interviews. I won't go into a lot of details on how to get guests because that could be a whole live in itself. But I do want to encourage you that if you are getting guests for your podcast, do a pre-interview. Hop on a call with them for 5 minutes. Hop on a Zoom with them for 5 minutes and make sure that you guys mesh so you don't have any surprises on the day that you record your episode. Okay, so after you lock in your guest, then the next thing you want to do is record. You're ready to record. I use StreamYard to record my podcast episodes right now because I'm doing like a live roundtable, and it allows me to have more than one person on at a time. A lot of people use Zoom to record their podcast episodes. If you have like a GarageBand software, or if you have Audacity, which I'll talk about in a minute, you can record directly into those softwares. So if you are doing like a solo show, you can just hit record and record directly into editing softwares. I think some people use Skype, but I don't recommend Skype. But Zoom is a great thing to use to record. StreamYard is good. Your editing software, audio editing software is good to record your episodes. If you don't have access to any of that, you can use your phone. You can do a voice memo on your phone and just hit record and record your episodes right there. So after you pick your topic and you locked in guests, if you need it, you record your episode. This is where you shake out those jitters, you hit record, and you just talk. After you recorded your episode, it's time to edit. You need to edit your episode. Edit out any extra any rustles of paper that might be distracting, any coughs or sneezes that happen. It happens. People sniff their nose and they cough, or they get choked up, or sometimes, and you want to edit that stuff out that might be distracting. You don't have to edit out everything. When I'm editing my podcast episodes, if like the and stuff are excessive, I take that stuff out. And since it's audio, like I take a lot of like the lip smacks out and everything like that, because I just don't like how that sounds in my ear. But you don't have to edit out everything, especially if you want the conversation to sound natural. You don't have to edit out every single and everything like that, because that's naturally how people talk and how they think. So it's up to you to edit it however you want. And then you can also add in your music if you want to have music. If you have sponsors, you can add in their commercials. If you have like audience questions. If you have audience members call in and do questions, you can add that audio in. Editing process is tedious, but it's a lot of fun once you get the hang of it. For my editing, I use Audacity. It's a free software. I downloaded it on my computer. I have a Mac. I'm not sure if it works on Windows, but I think it does. But I downloaded Audacity and I upload my audio file in there, and I can edit my episodes. I can add in my intro, my outro music, and add in all the other parts. So I use Audacity. I know a lot of people use GarageBand too as an editing software. So you just find the editing software that works for you, something that you feel comfortable with using, and you edit your podcast. After you edit your podcast episode, you're ready to upload it. You can't have people hear it if it's not uploaded. You have to have a podcast platform in order for people to hear your podcast. Now, there are people who use YouTube for podcasts, and you can just put a video up on YouTube. That's an option. If you want to just do like a Facebook or YouTube or Instagram Live, you can do that for a podcast. But if you want people to be able to have it on their phones, listen to it on Spotify or on Apple Podcasts or Google Podcasts or now Amazon Podcasts, you have to upload it to a hosting platform. My hosting platform of choice is Libsyn. I love Libsyn. It's easy to use. It's inexpensive. You can see analytics within Libsyn. So I love it, but I know that there are other ones. There's Anchor. That's a hosting platform. There's another one I think called Buzzsprout or Podsprout, something with a sprout. There's one in there. I'll drop some options in the comments and everything like that. But find your podcast hosting platform, and then you upload your episode to that, and it'll push it out to all of the podcast platforms. The last thing you need to do after you have uploaded your podcast episode is market it. No one's going to know that it's out there unless you market it. So you post on social, you go live on Instagram and promote it. You do stories on Instagram and Facebook to promote it. You send an email blast out to your list to promote it. You text all your friends and say, hey, here's my new podcast episode. Listen to it. Marketing is the last thing that you do in the podcasting steps, in our 6 steps to podcast. You market it because you want people to listen to it. You put in all this effort to record, edit, and upload it. So now you want people to listen to it. So you market it. All right. Let's do a quick recap. So 6 things you need to do to get your show up and running. You pick your episode topic, and you do this for every episode. You solidify your guest if you're going to have guests. Then you record your episode. You get in there, you talk about your topic, you share your knowledge, you share your value. Then you want to edit and make sure that it sounds good, because since podcast is audio-based content, you want to make sure that it sounds good or no one's going to listen to it. Then you upload your episode to your podcast hosting platform. Then you market it. Wash, rinse, and repeat. You go through all those steps every episode that you want to do. And there are ways to streamline it. There are ways to create a routine, to create a pattern where you can like drag and drop stuff. I won't get into too many details like that because I can teach a whole course on how to do that. Won't teach that right now. But that's how you get your show up and running. We talked about on Monday the things you need to do before you start your podcast. You know your goals, you know your audience, you know your availability. Now let's get your show up and running. You get those guests, you get your topic, you record your episode, you edit, you upload, and you market. Wash, rinse, and repeat. All right, that's it for today. As you see, Instagram folks, you can't see this, but use Facebook and YouTube folks, I think I'm pointing in the right direction. As you see right here in this corner, the Creators Summit 2021 is coming up June 7th through 11th. Tickets will go on sale on Monday, so please get ready. I'm excited to push out more information for that. I'm excited for this summit. I've been working extremely hard on it. I got some more work to do today as soon as I get off of this live, so I'm excited to get back into it. But you guys get ready. The Creators Summit 2021 is going to be amazing. All right. So we'll be back here on Friday. We do Creators Chat Lives every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. Eastern time. And we'll be back here on Friday. I think we're going to talk a little bit about marketing, how to market your podcast and ways that you can market your podcast and get it out in front of people, because you want people to hear what you have to say. So join me right back here, Instagram folks, on Instagram Live, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. Facebook and YouTube folks right here on live at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. And I will see you guys on Friday. Bye. Have a good one.